Hey, all you super players out there. Ben Lourdes here, aka 5 Buck Lunch, coming at you with the second in the trio of videos about the new set. Today we're going to go over blue and green, starting off with Android 18, one of the blue leaders. Auto, when you place this card in your leader area, choose one Android 21 scheme from your deck and activate it. Activate main once per turn, choose one clone token in your opponent's battle area, remove it from the game, draw a card, choose one card in your life and add it to your hand. Then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 1, and return it to its owner's hand. Awaken life 4 or less, draw 2 cards. So this one's okay. There are 3 leaders that start off with the Android 21 field in their field zone. One is Android 18, and there's the Android 21 from the structure deck, and the Android 21, which we'll look at next. Couple things. I'm not a huge fan of this one, just because it draws cards instead of untapping energy when it awakens. Also, uh, it just draws a card by removing a clone token, which you're going to get from Android 21 scheme, so it's not that big a deal. But when you awaken, when it attacks, you draw a card. Once per turn, choose one clone token in your opponent's battle area, remove it from the game. Choose up to one of your opponent's battle card with energy cost of 1, return it to its owner's hand. Then reduce the combo cost of all blue and green cards in your hand and battle area by 1 for the duration of the turn. So this kind of has a cool effect on the awaken side. Um, in order to use it, you have to bounce a clone token, which, while fine, will take up resources. The whole bouncing of one drops on you or your opponent's side of the board is mostly irrelevant. Uh, Pretty much all the things you're going to want to bounce just draw them cards anyways, so you're almost never going to use that effect. Uh, Reducing the combo cost of all blue and green cards in your hand at battle area by 1 is very interesting. The downside is, since it's active main, you can only do it on your turn, so it's not like you can do it on your opponent's turn and then use the Cell super combo for free, for example. So it's mostly going to be used in an aggressive fashion, and the fact that it's only blue and green really make a lot of the like the enter the battlefield effects of, say, the Universe 6 cards or something like that not really applicable since it doesn't work with Khalifa. That being said, it could be very useful for arrival effects. The downside is, of course, you're arriving in your turn, which is usually less good, but it does allow you to combo with a blue-green card for free for your arrival. So yeah, some interesting things. I don't know. I'm not the biggest fan of this one. I think the Android 21 is better, but not terrible. Speaking of Android 21, has the same effect of you start the game with Android 21 scheme. Once per turn, choose one clone token in your opponent's battle area, remove it from the game. Draw one card, then choose one of your opponent's battle card, energy cost of 1, return to the hand. Then, at the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose up to one blue-green multicolor card in your energy and switch it to active mode. When your life is 4 or less, draw 2 cards and flip it over. So I like this front side effect a lot better. Instead of self-awakening, it untaps energy, which is really, really useful, especially on the defense, especially since the Android 21 deck is trying to stall in order to drop the big 8-drop Android 21. So I just think the untap energy is a lot better than the take one energy. I really don't think you're gonna have that much problems awakening with this deck because you're giving your opponent so many extra battle cards. Awaken side, activate once per turn. Choose one clone token from your opponent's battle area, remove it from the game. Draw one card, then choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards at the cost of 1, return it to the hand. Then at the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose one up to one blue-green multicolor energy and switch it to active mode. So this effect is the same as the other side. One of the downsides to Android 21 over 18 is that you have to remove a clone token to draw a card, which you don't have to with Android 18. You can just attack and draw. Um, that being said, it's pretty easy to keep your clone generation going, especially with the field spell. So I would still rather have this leader just for the ability to untap an energy at the start of your opponent's turn. And the big thing with that is, since it's blue, it allows you to keep untapping energy after that. Kaioken Son Goku Strenuous Onslaught 3-drop 5k combo. Auto, choose one or two cards in your life, add them to your hand. When you play this card, it gets plus 5k power for the duration of the turn. At the start of your opponent's next main phase, choose one of your energy and switch it to active mode. So this is kind of cool. It really reminds me of the Vegeta that untaps and gets 5k. I don't think it's quite as strong as that because you don't get two attacks, but at the same time, switching one of your energy to active mode is very strong. So I really like this card. I think it'll see some play in blue decks as their self awakener. Son Goku the Rescuer, 3-drop 5k combo. When a battle card is returned to a player's hand by a skill, if Son Goku the Rescuer isn't in play in your battle area, you may play this card from your hand. For 1 blue, send this card to your drop area from your warp. From your drop area to your warp, I'm sorry. Choose 1 blue battle card with energy cost 3 or less, or up to one of your opponent's battle cards with energy cost of 3 or less, and return it to its owner's hand. So I actually really like this card in almost any tempo-based blue deck because it combos with itself. So all you have to do is have this in your discard pile, send it to your warp by paying 1 blue to bounce one of your opponent's cards, which allows you to play another one from your hand, and you can just repeat the cycle. The bounce is only on your turn, which obviously is balanced, but I think this is going to be really, really strong in any blue-based tempo deck. Things that play a lot of blue counters and want to like tempo your opponent out. Seems really good in that circumstance. Supreme Technique Son Gohan. 2 costs, 5k combo. Active main once per turn. Choose 1 clone token for your opponent's battle area. Remove from the game. This card gets 10k power and critical for the duration of the turn. This card's okay. I think there's better things to use your clone token resource on than just a 1 critical. So I don't think it'll see a lot of play. Son Gohan Calling for Help. 1-drop 5k combo. When you play this card, look at the top 5 cards from your deck. Choose 1 blue or green Son Goku or Piccolo card among them out of your hand, then shuffle your deck. Pretty simple, just a top 5 searcher. Supreme Technique Vegeta, 2-drop 5k combo. Active main once per turn. Choose 1 clone token from your opponent's battle area and move it from the game. This card gets 10k power and double strike for the duration of the turn. So I like this a lot better. I think double strike's a lot more impactful than critical, and this might be something you see splashed into clone decks. I don't think it'll be like a main card or there'll be a ton of them in there or anything, but I could definitely see it as a 1 or a 2 of. It's also a 10k Vegeta, which could be relevant for fusions. Supreme Technique Krillin, 2-drop 5k 1-cost combo. Blocker. If it's your turn, choose 1 clone token from your opponent's battle area, move from the game. When you combo with this card, choose up to 1 attacking Android 18 card. It gains double strike for the duration of the battle. During your turn, when you combo in this card from your hand with an Android 18 card in battle, play this card from your hand at the end of the battle. So, interesting. This looks like a lot of other cards, but it's a little different. So it's a blocker. Choose 1 attacking Android 18 card. So I'm not sure. It's weird because it's an auto. So I think you could during this battle, even though it's not active battle. We'll have to see when the rulings come out. It's because it's just an auto. It's not an auto main or active main. So if so, that's pretty good because you could use it with the Android 18 leader to give the leader a double strike during battle for no mana, which is kind of cool and something we haven't had yet. Previously, all the things that gave double strike costed at least 1 mana. And then you could pay another blue when you combo with it to put it in play, and it's a blocker. So it's a put in play blocker that could potentially also give one of your characters double strike. So that's pretty good. It might be a reason to actually play the Android 18 leader. For that combo, though, just to note, it's going to cost 2 clone tokens because the Android 18 needs to get rid of a clone token to make it a free combo piece. Krillin the Cunning, 1 cost, 5k combo. When you play this card, draw 1 card for the duration of the game. Turn player would use a skill of battle card or extra card to switch energy active mode. They can't switch energy active mode unless they choose 5 cards from their drop area and send it to their warp. So this is another one of those cycle cards. I actually like these cards because they're punishing, but still allow you to use the ability. So they're punishing, but not so punishing where it completely hoses the deck, essentially. One interesting thing to note with this is it doesn't stop leader skills at all, meaning Android 21 can still untap freely. Master Roshi, Masterly Majesty. 1-drop 5k combo. Choose 1 multicolor card in your energy, return it to its owner's hand. When you combo with this card, choose 1 card in your hand to place it in your energy and rest mode. This might be like a 1 or a 2 of, especially in the Android 21 deck. So you can charge your big multicolor energies early and then use this to swap them out. So, for example, if you draw on your first turn your 8-drop Android 21 and you don't have any other multicolor energies, a lot of the cards in this deck require you to have a multicolor energy. So this allows you to charge that and then get it back later, which is pretty useful. Android 21 Speedy Substitution. 1-drop 5k combo. When you play this card, look it up the top 5 cards of your deck. Choose one blue or green Android card and add them to your hand, then shuffle your deck. When you play this card, activate this skill. At the end of your turn, you may choose one blue-green multicolor energy in your energy, return it to your hand. If you do, choose one card in your hand, place an energy in rest mode. So not only does this look at the top 5 for your Android, it's going to be very relevant to any Android deck, it also allows you to charge your blue-green cards and then return them to your hand and play an energy from your rest mode. So same thing as the earlier Master Roshi, where you're going to charge your big cards early and get them back. This card obviously is going to see a ton of play in Android decks because it is their searcher and it provides utility. SPR, ooh, that SPR actually looks pretty nice. Android 21, the Ringleader. 1-drop 5k combo. If your leader card is an Android card, when you play this card, draw one card. At the end of your opponent's next turn, play one clone token in your opponent's battle area. Active main once per turn, blue-green. If your leader card is an Android card, choose one Android 21 scheme in your drop area and activate it. So this is another card, 1-drop, that replaces itself because it draws a card. It also provides a lot of utility and makes it so you can't just get hosed by things that clear fields, because the Android 21 field, which we'll get to in a minute, is incredibly important for the Android 21 deck. This allows you to just put it back so you don't have to play multiples. You can just get back the one that was destroyed. It also generates clone tokens, which is very important. Magnificent Technique Frieza, 4-drop, 5k combo. Choose 2 clone tokens in your opponent's battle area, move them from the game, play this card from your hand. When you play this card, choose up to one of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost 3 or less, return it to its owner's hand. I like this card a lot. I think this is one of the stronger clone token combinations. It's a free 15k you can put in play that bounces one of your opponent's cards, so it provides a lot of tempo, which is really important in stalling out in the clone decks. So this is a clone card I think we'll see a decent amount. 1-drop Nappa. He's a vanilla 1k. Magnificent Technique Genyu. This is just a super combo. When your life is at 4 or less, combo this card, draw one card. Interesting to see more Genyu Force cards. Weird that they put a Genyu Force card in blue. I'm not really sure why, but hey, we got a Genyu Force Freezes Army super combo. That's blue now, I guess. Magnificent Technique Cell. 4-cost 5k combo. It has critical. Active main, choose 3 clone tokens for your opponent's battle area, remove them from the game, play this card from your hand. So kind of like the Frieza, except it takes 3 instead of 2 clone tokens, and it has critical instead of bouncing something. I don't know. It depends on how easy clone token generation becomes. If they have a bunch of extra ones, I can see this card becoming really good. I don't know if 3 is too much. We'll have to see. It is an Android, which is nice, so you can search it. But Dr. Ultro, Destructive Beam. Blocker Deflect. When you play this card, choose one. Place the top 6 cards from your deck under Dr. Ultro's lab in your battle area. Choose up to 6 cards from your dropper and place them under Ultro's lab in your battle area. Auto once per turn. When this card activates Blocker, switch it to active mode. So this is a pretty cool card. I believe there's a way to cheat it in with the deck. I haven't looked super close at the Hatchy Hack deck yet. But it accelerates your lab either by a top of the deck or discard, which I actually like a lot because it means late if you play it, you're not in danger of decking out. And then it's a blocker that restands itself, which is also pretty cool and something we haven't had for a little bit with the effect. Here's Dr. Ultro's Lab, extra card 6 cost, which the 6 cost isn't a big deal because the leader starts with it in play. Your battle cards can't be switched to rest mode by your opponent's card skills, and you can only use blue or green card skills to place cards under this card. That's just to stop some of the old effects that place under, like Booze Ball, to work with this card. Can't be removed from battle area by your opponent's card skills. And active main 2, choose one of your opponent's battle cards that costs 4 or less, place under this card. This works really well because the Hatchy Hack leader stops your opponent's extra battle cards from attacking, so this just allows you to get rid of them as well. Android 21 Scheme. So here's the card that the Android leaders start with. 4-drop field once per turn. When your opponent plays a non-token battle card, it can't attack for the duration of the turn. When you play a black battle card, place that into its owner's drop area. So just in case anyone didn't know, the Android decks can't play black cards. Black battle cards, at least. At the start of your opponent's main phase, place 2 clone tokens with an energy cost of with 1,000 power in your opponent's battle area. So this is kind of the core to the Android, any of the clone decks. It stops cards from attacking the turn they're played, which is very important for stalling out to Android 21. and it puts 2 clone tokens in play in their battle area. Now, these clone tokens can attack, which is important, but they can't be comboed with. So there's no real easy way for your opponent to get rid of them unless they're using something like a Broly leader or something like that. But this is just the engine card for the deck, and you start with it. Bulma's Advice, 3 cost blue extra card. Active main, draw 1 card, then choose one of your opponent's leader cards. It gets, choose up to one of your leader cards, sorry. It gets 5k power until the end of your opponent's next turn. I don't think this is good enough for 3. I think that's too much. It gives you a Senzu Bean until your opponent's next turn, and it draws a card, which is nice, but unless you're somehow playing it for cheaper, 3 is just too much for that effect. Absolute Release Ball. So this is the cycle card for blue. Counterplay, if your leader card is blue and your life is a 4 or less, the battle card being played has an energy cost of 3 or less. It's returned to your opponent's hand instead of being played. Then choose up to one of your blue energy and switch to active mode. And then if you have 4 or less life, you can activate the counter skill by paying life instead of paying the energy. This one's cool. It's kind of it's kind of in the middle as far as the cycle goes. There's one for every color. The kind of downside to this is since you're stalling and the androids don't go down super low, super fast, you're not going to be using it as much. I don't think this is for the Android deck, even though Android 21's on the card. I think this is more for old tempo-based blue decks. Alright, so now we're getting into green, starting off with Son Goku leader. Auto, when this card attacks a leader, draw 1 card. Auto once per turn, when one of your battle card activates Revive, draw a card. Awaken, when the life is a 4 or less, draw 1, untap 1. And the back says, this card attacks, draw a card. Once per turn, one of your opponent's battle cards activate Revive, draw 2 cards. Once per turn, choose one of your blue-green multicolor battle cards in rest mode. Till the start of your next main phase, as long as the shown card is in rest mode, your opponent can't attack leader cards. Ooh, I actually really like this card. I hadn't actually seen it before now, but this seems really strong. If you can get some way to trigger Revive consistently, that's a lot of extra cards. You don't have to trigger Revive because when it attacks, you draw a card. And then you can choose one of your Revive cards that's tapped with your active main and basically force your opponent to attack it so you can draw 2 cards. This seems really strong. I actually like this a lot. It seems like it might be decently resilient against androids too because you're going to be playing a lot of multicolor cards. But yeah, this seems very good. This leader is going to see some play. Dr. Ultra and Dr. Cochin. Actually surprised I thought this was a black leader, but it's not. When you place this card in your leader area, choose up to one of your labs, activate it. So your Dr. Ultra's lab card comes in play for free. Obviously, you don't want to pay 6 for it. When this card attacks a leader card, look at the top 7 cards, choose one Frenzied Warrior card from among them onto your hand, then shuffle your deck. When you have 4 or more energy and your life is at 3 or less, you may choose 2 of your energy, switch in the active mode, and flip them over. So first off, it's interesting that they're the untap 2 energy, which is pretty much considered the strongest of the awakenings now, is being restricted to a 3 or less life, which is kind of interesting. Instead of drawing, you grab Frenzied Warriors, which works with this deck, so that's also fine. When a card attacks, draw a card. Once per turn, choose 1 card in your hand, place it in your drop area. Choose 1 keyword skill on one of your opponent's battle cards. Negate it for the duration of the turn. Please note this is not the same as the Toa leader because it's not on your opponent's turn, it's on your turn only. If Dr. Ultra's leader has 17 or more cards under it, you win the game. So, alternate win condition leader. We already saw something that puts a whole bunch under it. I have to go in a little more, see how viable this is, but 17 doesn't seem like too much, since I'm pretty sure there's things that put multiple cards under, but we'll see. It is kind of weird that they have an aggressive version, which the Frenzied Warriors, I believe, are a more aggressive archetype, with a control win condition. That seems a little weird to me, but hey, one important thing to note is Ultra's Lab can't be removed by your opponent, so it's not like you can get to just like 10 cards and all of a sudden it's gone. So yeah, we'll have to see for that later. It's definitely interesting. Son Goku preparing for battle. 2 cost 5k combo. If it's your turn, choose 1 clone token and your opponent's battle area. Move from the game. When you combo with this card gains 5k power for the duration of the turn. I like this effect a lot. The downside is it's your turn only, but on a more aggressive clone token deck, this card is amazing as it's a free 10k combo. Bulma the Problem Solver, 3 cost 5k combo. permanent, if you have a red-green multicolor in your energy, reduce this cost in your hand by 1, so it becomes a 1-drop. Choose 1 red or green extra card in your deck, energy cost of 2 or less, place in your drop area, then shuffle your deck. When you play this card, draw 1 card. So, I'm not sure what this is really meant to combo with. It seems interesting. So, but it is interesting to note that this goes with the older red-green decks, not with the new ones, which are red-blue. Extra card in your deck. Yeah, I'm not really sure what this is supposed to combo with. A red-green extra card. So I guess you could use it with any way to cycle back extra cards. This is interesting. Maybe we'll see that tomorrow when I go through the multicolor cards, what this is supposed to combo with. Mischievous Technique Gotenks, 2-cost, 5k combo. If it's your turn, choose 1 clone token of your opponent's battle area, move for the game. When you combo with this card, draw 1 card. Okay, so this is probably the best clone combo piece. It basically just cycles to draw a card for free by getting rid of a clone token. This is going to be pretty much a 4 of in every single clone deck. Namekian Technique Piccolo, 2-cost, 5k combo, blocker. Active main, choose 1 clone token, your opponent's battle area, move for the game, play this card from your hand. This card's also pretty solid. It's a free blocker for putting a clone token up, getting rid of a clone token. Frenzied Warrior Piccolo. So here's the first of those Frenzied Warrior cards that Dr. Utro looks up for. Deflect, auto bond 3. When you play this card, choose 1. Your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and places them under your lab, or your opponent chooses 2 cards from their hand and sends them to their warp. So basically it allows you to play it whether you're playing Utro or not. It gets rid of 2 cards from their hand. Note it's a bond 3, so you need 2 other battle cards in play. I mean, this is a play. You're going to play it if you're playing Lab because it's a way to put cards under Lab. Bond 3 is pretty rough, though. It's the only other card I can remember that saw play was the that had Bond 3 was the big what is his name? The guy that discards 3 cards from your opponent's hand. The other Namekian leader. I can't remember his name offhand. Slug. The big Slug played it. That discarded 3 cards from your opponent's hand. But Slug swarmed the field really well, too. So we'll have to see if Bond 3 is too much. Obviously, even with Bond 3, you'll be trying to play it in the Hayjack deck. Yamcha the Cunning. 1-cost, 5k combo. When you play this card, draw 1 card. Then for the duration of the game, if your opponent activates battle cards, they have to warp 5 cards with their drop area. So pretty clearly, this is just one of the Hoser cards for untap energy. Oolong, who is a 1-cost 10k vanilla. Beerus Godly Majesty. 3-drop 5k combo. Auto when this card is placed in your drop area from your hand by a battle card skill. If Beerus Godly Majesty isn't in play in your battle area, you may place this card, put this card in play from your drop area. Interesting, okay. Active main, 1 green. Send this card to your drop area from your warp. Choose 1 card from your hand and place it in your drop area. Choose 1 of your opponent's battle cards, which costs 3 or less, and KO it. So I've been wanting this effect in the game for a while. It basically means if it's discarded off your opponent's skill, you get to play it, which is something we've needed for a while. This isn't too punishing because all you get is a 15k card, so that's not that big a deal. But this is something I've really wanted in the game for a while. The active main effect isn't terrible. You warp it in your drop from play, and then you discard a card to KO something 3 or less. Note it's only on your turn, but that's still a pretty reasonable effect to be stuck on this kind of card. Masterful Technique Whis. 2-cost, 5k combo. Auto, when you play this card, choose up to 1 of your opponent's battle cards, energy cost of 2 or less, and KO it. Once per turn, if you have a blue-green multicolor in your energy, when you play a green battle card other than this card from your drop area, draw 1 card. Okay, so this is kind of supposed to combo with that Beerus. It KOs something, which, I mean, is nice. They could see some utility play from that. And then when you play a green battle card other than this card. So it has to be on the field. And then if you play a green battle card from your drop area, you draw a card. Could be useful in certain decks. I don't know. We'll have to see. This would be kind of cool in Broly set 1, since when your Bio Broly is KO'd, it comes back by discarding a card. So this essentially makes it free to come back every time. So that's kind of interesting. I don't know. This is a cool effect that we could see in the future. The draw is once per turn. One thing to know, which is kind of not as good. Android 21, brilliant idea. This is, I believe, the best clone user, by the way. 3-cost, 5k combo. Auto, when you play this card, activate the skill at the end of your opponent's next turn. Play 2 clone tokens in their battle area. Active main, once per turn, choose one clone token in your opponent's battle area, remove it from the game, choose one. Choose one of your opponent's battle cards and KO it, so KO any battle card. Choose your leader card or one of your battle cards. It gets plus 10k power and critical for the duration of the turn. This card is really, really good, and I'm kind of surprised it wasn't a super rare because it's really good. So not only does it provide 2 clone tokens, which you can't use right away, but it gives you 2 clone tokens. By choosing 1 clone token and removing it from the game, you can KO any card, or if they don't have any cards, you can give one of your cards 10k power and critical, which, yeah, that's really, really good for a 3-drop. Yeah, there's definitely going to see a lot of play in all of the Android and clone decks. Dr. Utro, a Fiendish Scheme, 1 cost 5k combo. When you play this card, draw 1 card. Choose 1 card, 1 green, choose 1 card, and 1 green card in your hand, and place them in the owner's drop areas. When your opponent card attacks, negate that attack. Oh, sorry, choose this card and 1 green card in your battle area. It's interesting. It'll see some play because it draws a card. It's kind of mediocre, though. It's really easy to just get rid of it with random utility effects, especially something like Baby. This is going to do nothing. And you still have to pay and discard a card and get rid of this for the negate. I don't like this card. I don't think it's very good. Dr. Kochin, the Nefarious Scientist. 2 cost, 5k combo, permanent. Only one of these can be in play in your battle area. Reduce the energy cost of all Frenzied Warrior cards in your hand by 1. When you play this card, look at the top 7 cards. Choose 1 Frenzied Warrior among them, add it to your hand. Then choose up to 1 Frenzied Warrior card and you have an energy cost of 2 or less and play it. Alright, so this card's obviously really good in any Frenzied Warrior deck. It reduces their energy cost and it lets you play one for free. One thing to note is that since they're being reduced, it allows you to play 3 drops for free as well in your hand. So yeah, just really good card all around. Kishimi, Living Weapon. 1 cost, 5k combo. When you play this card, place the top card of your deck under Dr. Utro's Labs in your battle area and draw 1 card. Alright, so obviously this is nuts. It just lets you put under Lab and draws a card too. And it's a 1 cost. Ibifreya, Living Weapon. Just a super combo. With life is 4 or less. When you combo with it, draw a card. It is a Frenzied Warrior, so you can search it with your Frenzied Warrior searches. Is this a Frenzied Warrior? Ooh, the 1-drop's a Frenzied Warrior too. Sorry, I didn't realize that Frenzied Warrior was a special trait. I thought it was in the name. So yeah, okay. So that makes both these cards way better. Mitsuka... Jeez, what are these names, Bandai? Miso Katsune, Living Warrior. 2 cost, 5k combo. This is another Frenzied Warrior. It's a blocker. When this card activates blocker, place the top card of the deck under Dr. Utro's Lab in your battle area. This card can't be KO'd by battle cards with an original power of 1500 or less for the duration of the battle. Ooh, this card is really, really good. So not only is it a blocker that can't really be KO'd by 15k or less, which is most of the things you're going to be attacking within this game are 1500 or... Oh, nope, I misread this. Okay, so it's just decent. You know, the more I read this, the worse it gets. Okay, so it's not bad. You'll probably still play it because it puts things under Lab, but it doesn't work on leaders because it's battle cards only, and it has to be original power of 15k or less. Okay, that makes it okay, because people do attack with 15k things a lot, and it's original power, which is very relevant. But you can't use it to block big things. Okay, so this is solid, especially because you're going to be putting it into play for free or only costing 1. So yeah, this is a solid card. When I read it the first time, I thought it said 15k or more, which would have been insane, but no. Okay, so decent card. Bioman, Living Weapon, 1 cost, 5k combo. This is another Frenzied Warrior. When you play this card, look at the top 7 cards at the top of your deck. Choose 1 Dr. Utro or Dr. Kochin card among them, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck. This card is really important to getting to your guy that reduces their cost by 1. The Android Creator, 1 cost extra card. Choose 1 clone token your opponent's battle, move for the game, draw 1 card, then choose 1 of your battle cards. It gets plus 10k power for the duration of the turn. Only during your turn, but this is another card that's pretty good. It's not, I don't think it's quite as good as the combo piece, just because it costs an energy to draw a card, but it's definitely okay because you're taking a clone token and drawing a card with it. Rise of Dr. Utro, 1 cost green extra card. Auto, when you activate this card, you can't activate this card for the duration of the turn. If your leader card is Dr. Utro card, choose up to 5 cards at the top of your deck. Choose 1 Dr. Utro or Kochin card among them, add them to your hand. Shuffle your deck. If you add a hand, choose 1 of your green energy and switch it to active mode. So this is pretty good. It allows you to search for what you need and doesn't actually take energy. It's as simple as that. Dr. Utro's Revival. 3 cost, green extra card, permanent. This card gains desire in all areas. If your leader card is green, choose up to one of your Dr. Utro cards you drop with energy cost 4 or less and play it. Interesting that they're giving us a desire card to go with this. I'm not really sure how that works. I think you might just be supposed to be playing this because you don't have to have a desire or a wish leader to play it. So I don't know. That was weird. Focused Breakthrough. This is the cycle card for green for the counter. 1 cost green extra card counter. If your leader card is green, your life is at 4 or less. If the battle card being played is energy cost of 3 or less, it places an orange drop area instead of being played. If you have a multicolor card in your energy, this card and your life is at 4 or less, this card's counter skill is free by paying a life. So this, I think, is one of the stronger of the extra cards in this cycle because it just gets rid of the card being played. It doesn't bounce into your hand. It's very not restrictive because a lot of cards are 3 or less. That being said, it's more of an aggressive card than a control card because your life has to be 4 or less. So we'll have to see. I'm sure this will get played on some of the older green. Some of the red-yellow decks, or sorry, red-green decks could really use this card. Things like King Vegeta, the Goku that people are playing that like gets double strike with Krillins could be really good in. So I could definitely see this being played, just not really with the cards from this set. Oh, and now we're at a yellow. So that is all of the green and blue cards. Coming up probably tomorrow, if not tomorrow, Friday, we will have a guide for all the black and multicolored cards, which are a lot of the exciting cards. But yeah, please like, subscribe, go out there, play some Super, and have some fun.